All right. Welcome back to CrawlCast. Jesus, one more time.
Not ready.
Welcome back to CrawlCast episode 6. This is, I guess, going to end up being part 2 of the Quarantcast or quarantine. So we're all doing our part. Today we are once again joined by Diesel, but we have another special guest today, Matt Loxley from High Beam Off-Road. So what's up, guys? How you guys doing? How's the self-quarantining going?
Horrible. Not really. It's like life is normal pretty much for me.
It's pretty confusing. It's all confusing. And the thing that's crazy is all the different way people express themselves on the internet. Like, for instance, when somebody puts a financial thing, and I'm like, what the heck is a person putting financial? Is it selfish? How selfish? And then it's like, man, it's really not selfish. It's a money person. That's the way they think. They're thinking about the future. And then instantly I feel like a dick because I left a comment like, hey, man, can you be that, self-centered? You're not thinking about people actually dying. And then it's like, oh, shit, man, if the finances die, it's like, it's just confusing to me. It's like when people are complaining, if you think about it, how they might be taking it, it's just a confusing thing for me. Everything is crazy.
Jesus, yeah. Right away, Diesel just got way fucking deep.
Way deep.
Right away.
Well, no, that's just when you asked me what I was thinking. Like that just popped off my head. Like it's confusing. Like it's you ask me how I'm doing. Like I'm confused. I don't know what to do.
So the long and short of it's you're normal. You're still confused.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of live in a state of confusion, or North Carolina, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I'm kind of the same way. I had a couple of bad weeks in sales for High Beam, and and I just looked at that like, okay, well, people are panicking over this, which I thought was okay. Let's kind of try to take this easy, and maybe we should freak out just a little bit because we didn't know anything about it. And now it's just kind of, we're learning more and more about what's going on. And I think it's a smaller deal than everybody thought it was. And that's kind of upsetting, but it's been kind of rough here, just financially, like you said, but I haven't been freaking out about it because I know people will just start spending money again at some point. So
you work a lot from home. So, right. I mean, besides the shows.
No, I mean, I've got a shop and I go there and get away from life, really. And that's where I can go and talk to people. I'm just more productive there. But it's been slow. I mean, even just talking to people on a normal daily basis has been super slow compared to a month ago.
It's weird too. Like if somebody comes to the store and I don't know why, I guess it's pretty human nature, but if you see somebody you feel more safe than a stranger, and you're running a business. Strangers come in your door. That's what they do. So I get a stranger that comes in, I look, and it's like, man, I didn't expect this person. They don't have an appointment. They're here to kill me. Go away. What are you doing? What are you doing here? And I come off like kind of a dick. I don't mean to, but I mean, I'll be honest with you. I do. I'm like, hey, like, what are you doing here? What do you mean? You're a business. You're a Jeep shop. Like, I don't know.
And my city said to lock my door and just if I wanted to work in there by myself, it's cool, but just not let any public in. So, but I hope this gets over with pretty quick.
I think it should wrap up soon because, I mean, the CDC is already saying if someone dies from even something unrelated, they're labeling them as cause of death coronavirus, which is kind of bullshit because that's inflating numbers that don't exist.
Yeah. No, I mean, they have the coronavirus. They would have died.
Well, no, that's what they're saying is that not everyone that is dying has it.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Everyone that they say has the coronavirus, they might have heart problems pre-existing, and the coronavirus enhanced all those things. Like other countries, if somebody comes in because they have a heart problem and they die of that heart problem, the pre-existing, they won't list it as a coronavirus. But in America, they count it because it's pre-existing, but the coronavirus made it like you die way more premature. That's how I understood it.
There's even other stuff going on beyond that. I mean, there was a baby that was 1 year old that died an hour. It was an hour-old kid that died or something like that, and they labeled it as coronavirus.
Crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
did they even test it?
Who knows?
Yeah, that's all. That sounds all infant to me.
yeah, I mean, so we're still full production at work, but I mean, in my plant, we've had 2 confirmed cases, which just makes you think about it a little bit more. But out of 250 people, 2 people, I mean, it's not that big of a number, but it still makes you think about it a little bit more. But I don't know. This is the quarantine cast, but I don't want to beat a dead horse talking about the coronavirus because we did that for a while on the last episode. So,
and not only that, but it's all over the place, anyways. No matter where you're turning,
sports radio. That's all they're talking about is this crap. So
hey, so I'm gonna be a
douche.
douche. I think I'm gonna be that guy.
All right.
Just dead horse.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse, although it's the size of a horse. But what I'm going to, I'm gonna ask, and this is kind of, I think, kind of bullshit that I even had this thought pop into my head, but the 2 people at your work, God, I can't even believe I'm going to say this. Those 2 people, could you have stereotyped them to being dirty people that don't wash their hands and don't take care of themselves, or they're like just totally random?
So is
that a bad question? Am I a dick?
No, but because of HIPAA laws, I don't know who the 2 people are. We're just told that there's 2 confirmed cases, but like, I don't know. There are some nasty fuckers at work, dude. That like they don't wash their hands after they take a shit, no matter what's going on in the world. Yeah. So I mean, I have my own speculations, but I mean, we have a way higher percentage of people that know how to wash their hands and not touch somebody else and then touch their penis and then touch their eyeballs. There's more people like that at work. So I don't know the 2 people, and I'm not going to name names because I heavily promote at work because it's, free advertising for me to just run my mouth at work. But anyway, the 2 people there that we suspect, I mean, both those 2 individuals, I mean, I would assume that they're, pretty clean. They're clean at work. I'd assume they're clean at home. They're both genuinely healthy people. So like, I don't think that there's anything to really say like, yeah, this person is a slob and because they live in a world of filth, they got sick versus someone else. But I don't really know, man. I don't know just because I don't know who it is. So I can only speculate.
You touched on something really quick, and I don't mean to use that as a pun, but they say that the penis is the most dirtiest object on a male body, because if you think about it, when you go into a public bathroom, you touch a door handle. You don't wash your hands before you pull your dick out.
I do.
Do you really?
I wash.
Then how is your hands not the dirtiest?
Yeah, no.
You wash your hands. You don't.
I wash my hands, and then I pee, and then I wash my hands again.
If I'm in a public bathroom, that's what I do.
I'm gonna have to start doing that. I've not done that.
Well, what's funny is we actually got in a conversation at work because one of the guys was like, "Man, the grocery store was all out of toilet paper, right? No surprise." He's like, "I bought wet wipes," and me and this other guy are sitting there listening to him talk, and I'm like, "You just bought wet wipes for the first time in your entire adult life to wipe your ass? Like you've been missing out, bro." He was like, "You're never gonna buy toilet paper again. There's no toilet paper crisis because you just keep buying wet wipes." I mean, as soon as Sean was born. I don't even remember what happened, but I don't know if it was just his baby wipes are in there or whatever, but I used them and I'm like, yeah, not using toilet paper anymore.
I'm so clean now.
Well, then you think you're clean, right? Like Diesel, you know this, you have this problem. You think you're clean. Like you do it, like use some toilet paper and then you use a wet wipe and you're like, what in the fuck is all over my hand? Like I thought I had no shit in my ass anymore, but no. Yeah. So no. Anyway, back to your point, Gabe. Yeah, I wash my hands before and after in a public bathroom. Always.
Absolutely. Always. I'm with you
So
there.
I always use when I wash my hands. I don't wash my hands before I grab my cock. That's a good word, cock. Let's say cock. When I grab it sounds more masculine. Like it's making me feel tough. When I go to the bathroom, you guys grab your dicks, but I grab my cock. And then I wash my hands after, not before. So I have a dirty cock. Well,
I would have assumed that anyways to begin with.
But hey, and you know what? When you go to the bathroom and it has that stupid blow dryer instead of towels, I'll never fucking support that business again. Fucking tree, man. Give me some damn hand paper towels. Got that blower, it don't work. It's wet. Then I end up going like this. Then my shirts, I don't know if it's clean or dirty after that. I don't understand the blower thing.
Well, see, and if I'm in a public bathroom, I refuse to touch anything. Like, I'll like if I have to take a shit, like I'll elbow the stall door shut, and then I'll sit on the toilet with my foot on the stall door because I don't want to touch the door lock.
But you touch the toilet seat?
No, everything by foot, man. So I probably have some really nasty shoes.
How do you sit on your shoes?
No, I
sit on something.
Well, see, Diesel, I have.
Do you hover? Do you hover?
No, I have 100%.
You fucking hover. You're a hover.
Well, see, here's the thing, Diesel, that you might not have the advantage of. I can use my foot to push up and put the seat down.
Yeah, but your butt sits on the seat.
I guess I don't know why. So I used to like do the toilet paper or like the seat condom thing, but I don't anymore for whatever reason. I guess I'm not that worried about it. I don't know. But
people's butts are clean, man.
I mean, maybe
not
that
yours.
Not yours.
Yeah, maybe the edge
clean. It was bruising.
From what?
Hey, let's keep this positive here. All right, so no, seriously, like I don't think you're gonna catch the coronavirus off the toilet seat. Nobody wants to be there. Not even the Verizon, fucking virus. Damn
Oh
it.
my goodness.
What the hell's wrong with my tongue sometimes?
The Verizon.
All right, moving on.
I got confused with Verizon.
But anyway, I mean, it is kind of a segue. I mean, because one of the things we definitely want to talk about is either some do's and don'ts of off-roading or recommended do's and don'ts. And actually, one of my big do's is wet wipes. Like, that's one of the things that is in my Jeep nonstop is wet wipes. Because A, they're good for wiping your face off at the end of the day if it's all dusty and dirty. They're good for washing your hands at the end of the day. If you had to do a trail repair, it's good for wiping the grease off. And if you have to take a shit on the trail, it's good to wipe your ass so you don't end up with itchy butt.
All right.
So
Are they biodegradable?
So you can get ones that are biodegradable, but they're super expensive. But I always pack them out. Does that sound better? Because that's not true. I generally just.
I think that gets a pass. I think.
Well, you're gonna find out when you go to the Rubicon that you're gonna have to take wag bags and pack your shit out, literally.
Yeah, that's gross. Well,
Yeah.
I thought they put bathrooms on the trail.
You
Oh,
know those
they're
bathrooms
freaking
are horrible.
Oh,
They're overflowing. It makes me think of why in the hell people overflow. How's it get overflowing?
A lot of
Right?
shit.
You keep shitting on top of shit. Eventually, you're gonna be like, "Oh shit! I guess I'll just add to this."
Like a
Right?
big ice cream cone.
Chocolate.
All right, so kind of on what Adam was saying, since those aren't biodegradable, toilet paper and just digging a hole. There is a lot of biodegradable toilet paper, and everyone should have a shovel. So that's another do, is to have some sort of a trail shovel. You're going to need it if you need to dig a little hole to get more traction or, for something rather. If you have a campfire, you're going to need to put your campfire out. So a shovel is another good thing to have.
I just think
Bug
about.
spray. You're going to the Rubicon bug spray. That was. Have you guys all been to the? I know you have, Gabe. Man, I'm telling you what, when the sun starts going down, the freaking bugs, a mosquito, it feels like a dog's biting you. Those bugs are gnarly. Did you camp out when you went, Gabe?
Yeah.
Did you have a problem with the bugs or no?
No, actually, that year there was an infestation of hornets. And they were literally everywhere. We had to throw a piece of bologna like 20 feet to the right of us. And these little bastards would go and hunt this bologna and swarm the bologna and eat the fucking bologna. It was incredible.
Holy shit.
That's crazy.
Matt knows about hornets.
Yeah.
Show us your hand.
It's better now, but like
Holy
right here, dude,
shit.
my whole
Holy-
hand was just like swollen real bad. I can send Gabe a photo if he wants to like pop it up.
Was
But,
that a bee sting?
There was a yellow jacket sting on Thursday, man. I got jacked up. So if you're allergic to anything, here's a do. Bring your EpiPen on the trail because I'm about to go get one. And just in case, every time I go out. Because you know they're out there every time you go.
Hey, so one thing with the EpiPen, if you have one and you minister it, did I say that right?
Administer it.
Administer it to somebody and they do not need it and it kills them, you're guilty. Like if somebody says, I need an EpiPen and they're freaking out, you give them and make them do it themselves. Like you're not supposed to give it to anyone.
Well, no, not only that, but EpiPens are specific to every person. So
Prescription based.
Really?
yeah. You can't. They're not universal.
Damn. Yeah, I'm not gonna have one of those. I'll just be like, dude, you're dying. I mean, because the odds are, if somebody is deathly allergic to the damn thing, they'd have one.
Right. Well, this is my first time like reacting really bad to a wasp or bee sting or hornet sting. So I'm gonna go get a prescription for one just in case, because they say every time you get stung, it gets worse. So
Or better, like Indian.
no,
Yeah.
not usually.
Really, I thought that shit changes. Like you go and then like every 7 yees it might change.
Allergies.
No, that's just your credit. All the shit that you didn't pay just falls off.
Oh, really? Hey, I only got like 2 more years.
Nice.
And Dylan with DJ, I only have 7 more years, and then he's 18, and that will drop off.
You hope.
In 7 years, I'll be sad.
I don't think he's gonna want to live in your trailer or in your camper that much longer, though.
Well, when he's 18, he won't have a choice. He's on his own. If I did my job as a dad, he'll be done.
Well, I could just imagine Diesel trying to bang his kids' girlfriends.
Hey,
He's
Dad.
not the first person to say that. I don't understand. I'm not that guy. Like, I'm
Yeah, you
not
are.
that guy.
Yes, you
No,
are.
man. Have you ever tried to play pool with a fucking rope? I have a stick, man. I can't just freaking throw it down. I just can't throw it. I gotta like a girl. I gotta get to know 'em.
You have to romance her.
A little bit, man. I'm kind of old fashioned when it comes to that, believe it or not. I mean, I'm a flirt. I'm a great flirt. That's for damn sure. But man, before I throw it down in there, I gotta have the code or something. It has to be.
Throw it down in there.
Yeah,
I think you're
like a hallway.
I think your most favorite pickup line is what's the worst thing you'd put inside you?
Yeah. That's actually a pretty good one, actually, I think.
I know you came up with it with me in your presence, so I still use it all the time.
Yeah.
To my wife only.
Yeah, you took me to a gay bar, which is no big deal if you're gay, but I'm not. And so you take me to that gay bar was a little bit strange because I didn't know. And there's guys taking their shirts off and shit. And I'm just like, Adam, what's going on? Like right there at the bar. Like dudes were getting off.
Let me tell you something really quick. One of my good friends, he's a radio DJ that's out here. And he got us tickets backstage to the Ludacris concert that was in Denver. This was probably 15 years ago or something. And afterwards, we've been drinking throughout the whole show. And afterwards, he's like, hey, there's a bar up the street where we're parked. Let's go in there, get one more drink, and then we'll go home. We get to the bar, and something just wasn't right about it. And I think it was the big rainbow flag that was out front. So I'm like, hey, I don't think we're going to be, very comfortable in this bar. And he's like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So he says, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Oh, weird.
He comes out and he's just kind of like, okay, something's going on here. This is not the right place. So we sit down and we order a drink. And all of a sudden this guy comes up and he puts his arm around me. He's like, hi. I'm like, yeah, no, we got to get out of here.
But I support all life choices that make another human being happy. I'm good with just when you're not prepared. Like it's a little weird. My father growing up at his shop, his drink was Bud Light, right? Always had Bud Lights. Well, sooner or later you're at the shop and my dad's like, hey, give me a butt wipe. So sooner or later, a Bud Light was known as a butt wipe at my dad's shop. D. Krantz Auto, world famous in sparkling Reno, Nevada. So we're downtown Reno, and I got this little stripper girlfriend that was just cute as can be, and she did some drugs. I didn't know. I was naive. I still am pretty naive. But so I go to this bar with her, and it was a gay bar, and I wasn't really sure. Sure enough, here comes the bartender. What do you want? I'm like, I want a butt wipe. Holy shit, I was like the most famous person in there at first. I was like, what the hell's going on?
That means something different there, Diesel.
Yeah. I hit on every guy in there at the same time. It was horrible. But I laughed it off. It turned out to be fun.
So I want to throw some other do's and don'ts out there since we're kind of going off topic with butt wipes.
I never do that. What are you talking about?
The proper footwear for off-roading. So many times we see the wrong footwear, and it's just all of a sudden you see ankles turn, people falling on their ass, and I think this all can be they could all be saved with just this conversation.
Yep. So I slightly disagree with Gabe because we talked about this earlier today, in fact. And he's definitely an anti flip-flop guy out on the trail, and I love flip-flops. Now the thing is, I don't wear them very often because with running around filming and doing the stuff we do with Crawl 5280, it's pretty impossible. But if I'm just going to go out for a ride, like with a couple buddies, and there's nothing going on, no filming, no nothing, which doesn't happen anymore, I'm all about flip-flops on the trail. I love flip-flops on the trail. But I do keep a good pair, like either like hiking shoes or hiking boots or whatever in my Jeep, just in case. But I don't know. I don't like being hot either. So flip flops are kind of my jam.
That guy in our Jeep club has those flip flops, man, and he wore them. One of whatever, where you are, a rock chip came and about cut his pinky right off. It was an emergency situation. About cut his pinky toe right off. His name's Paul. 100%. You guys met him. He was a Moab last year with us. But he just have an open toe. His toes were out there. Rocks. A Jeep spins your tires. A rock came and drilled and about cut his pinky toe right off, like stitches, everything.
Jesus Christ.
Emergency, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all the time. How many times you been drilled with a rock in the shin or?
Oh yeah,
all the time.
For me, I like to wear trail shoes, like specific trail shoes, like either running trail shoes or.
Yeah, I've always worn the Merrells. I don't know, you don't like them, Gabe. They just don't fit your foot right. But I like my Merrells. I used to wear Chacos, and then I did what he did. Basically, I rolled my ankle over and cut my toes open. But I've always just been wearing Merrells now on the trail for the most part.
Yeah, I'm a big. My trail shoe is actually the Adidas Treks. I think they're probably the best shoes. But I mean, you're gonna cough up $130 or $140.
Yeah.
But I mean, the pair that I have today, the first day that I wore them on the trail was the day that we ended up being on the trail for 30 hours at Easter Jeep Safari last year. And I ended up hiking in those things for, I forget exactly, it was either 6 or 7 miles. back to the trailhead to get a car, and dude, they were perfect. I mean, they were comfortable from day one. So I mean, you make the investment to kind of money on a good pair, on a good shoe, but it pays off. I mean, I didn't. Those shoes, I mean, besides being dirty and obviously like having creases in them, like shoes get and stuff, I mean, the bottom of them still look brand new. And I bet you I put several hundred miles worth of hiking on them last year. And that's running around with camera equipment and running down the trail, sliding down a rock, whatever. And like, they still look brand new on the sole of them and everything. So, I mean, it's worth the investment. I mean, I will say I digress a little bit from the flip-flop statement, but I mean, you gotta be smart while you're out there, and kind of going off that. I mean, one of the things talking about injury, one of the big do's is, have a first aid kit, and
yes,
at least basic, have some antiseptic wipes and some Band-Aids and whatever else for a basic kit. I mean, and even just having aspirin or Advil or something like that's good in there too. Because if somebody does roll an ankle, you could at least give them a little bit of pain relief so you can get them off the trail or whatever. But that's a huge do for me. I have a pretty well built kit that I keep in my Jeep. And so, I mean, I could get into trauma if I needed to, which is probably a little overkill, but
yeah.
Just having Band-Aids and gauze and tape, like at a bare minimum.
Yeah, man, I've seen somebody have an arterial cut on the trail. And thankfully somebody had everything you needed, including a tourniquet. I've got one of those too. I've got a $100 kit with a tourniquet in it, and man, if that can save somebody's life, and not everybody's got that in their Jeep.
One big thing that with my Jeep club. And you guys are actually going to be super impressed by this level of responsibility. But I come up with a system that every time we have a run, whoever's organizing that run, when we start, kind of like a driver's meeting or whatever, somebody gets appointed to the safety. Somebody gets appointed to the recovery. Very important. Somebody gets to be appointed spotter. Because it all goes together. If you have 5 people yelling at somebody, nobody likes that. One person spotting, and then the recovery, you have, all these guys jump in, and then you have nothing to get done. And
it's unsafe, and it ends up unsafe at that time too.
And if somebody, we had a driver hit a tree pretty severe, and like nobody freaked out. We all there. We stood back, and the point and safety guy went and freaking did everything that he had to do. And we were freaking out by ourselves. We're like, oh fuck, man. Hopefully everything's okay. But the panic situation is so important to avoid. And if you have people appointed, then you'd be like, hey, you just back up and just let that person do their job. Super.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's another good do. I mean, everybody always seems to get the trail leader and the trail gunner, or whatever you guys in the world want to call them, the guy in the front and the guy in the back, whatever your word is for them. But it is important to, always have those things appointed. I mean, and I'd never really thought about it until actually last year on Pritchett Canyon, when we had Justin from Factor 55 with us, and like he did all the recovery, like, and I mean that's his game anyway, but like nobody even asked another question about anything. So every time there was a winch need to be set up or whatever, you just hear somebody like, Justin, get down here.
Hey, it was like this. Hey, Justin, Jason Rogers needs you.
The whole time. Whole time.
Again.
I'm going to get that one.
But, and another big do too is, like, I know people like to get out in the community and meet new people, but it's always good. Like if you're going to go with a group of 10 people that you don't know, like hopefully one of them is a friend, you know, somebody that you've wheeled with before. So, you know, like I like to wheel, you know, my niche or my small group of guys that I kind of grew up wheeling with, like one of us has always been really good on the, you know, trail repairs. One of us has always been really good on figuring out recoveries, stuff like that. So when you go meet these new people, like you really gotta, you're taking a lot of risk. I know that's part of what the community is meeting new people and making new friends, but you take risk doing that. So, you know, you got to try to be as prepared to take care of yourself and others as you can. But if you could stick with a similar group of people, as you're building your skills, I think that's a really great thing to do.
That's where the Jeep clubs come in, I think, is they play a real pivotal role in what direction you're going to go in 6 months to a year after owning a rig.
Right.
Because you can either go really south really quick, or you can be a really positive person and an ambassador to the community really quick. It just depends on how you adopt all the trail etiquette, all the trail rules, and just overall respect for your fellow wheeler.
Yeah, that's a big problem. New Jeepers, if a person's new to Jeeping and they do seem to, you know, drink or whatever, and you get around people, you need to have somebody that's strong enough to cut off all the irresponsible. Because what a lot of people don't understand is when we're out there, we have 5,000-pound rigs that can roll over in an instant and nobody's going to stop it. Your head could pop out and get smashed between the roll cage and the game could be over so quick. And whoever is spotting you or whoever is teaching these younger people, I think there's a super big lack of understanding you actually have somebody else's life in their hand. And then it's like, play it forward. Whatever, if you're a trail leader, whatever ways that you lead are people are following, people are learning, and they are going to do the same when they lead their group. The responsibility is way up. And since the Jeeps at the JKs and now with the JLs being amazing Jeeps, there is a lot of, I believe, wrong ways, and the fear factor is too late. It's too late when the Jeep's on its side and somebody's hurt. Like, I'll say names, that American Jeeper that panic throttled and drilled that chick. You know, everybody follows people. Know who you're following.
Right.
You got a $60,000 rig that's $5,000 that could kill a bunch of people. Understand what the heck you're doing.
Yep.
You know? So I
and
think
that's one reason
taken a lot serious.
That's one reason why when we wheel with people, we have a driver's meeting and we let them know there is no drinking involved, because we like to film close to vehicles. And we want to make sure that driver is going to be 100% sober, because we're halfway putting our lives in their hands.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at episode 5 of season 1 of Kingdom Crawl, I mean, there's a point where, you know, we break it down and Gabe damn near gets hit by a red dot buggy because he was just in there getting the shot. It was the risk that Gabe took. He knew the line the guy was going to take. He knew what the guy was going to do, but he stayed in there as long as he could and then had to jump out like a bull was coming at him. You know, so, I mean, it's important to us. I mean, and like I love to party. I love to have a good time. And I know everybody joining us today does as well, but like, you know, we've talked on it, so I don't want to beat a dead horse on this subject, but like, you know, that's why, like, getting back to camp or getting back to the hotel or going to the restaurant that you're headed to or whatever, like, that's why it's such a big deal. Like, you just hold out, man. Like,
be responsible.
Yeah. You know, I can't. In Colorado, at least 90% of the trails are actually Forest Service roads. So you could if you rolled your Jeep and killed somebody, you could get a DUI and you could still get charged with vehicular manslaughter on top of it. So you're not just out in the woods, you know, bouncing off trees and whatnot. You're on some sort of county road.
And in the situation you get yourself into, I mean, these Jeeps, our Jeeps in particular, are able to accomplish a lot of stuff. And you guys as photographers, when Matt and I, when we were in Colorado, and Brent and Rob, like, we were going through some pretty gnarly stuff that not everybody can roll through like we do.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just rolling through this stuff. And if we were drinking and being irresponsible, who knows how or what could have happened when you're drunk. You have to be sharp. You have to know what you're doing. It's a job. It's a job. When we're filming for Kingdom Crawl or representing Crawl 5280, it is a job. And then, let's go do shots of tequila afterwards. But it is,
out of a goat's leg, yes.
Yes.
It was like a cow or whatever. That was the best.
It was the best.
That was great. But it's a job. It is a job. And the last year, I don't know what the toll is, but I remember more people hearing stories about getting seriously hurt at Windrock. There was Jeeps on the internet getting rolled over, and people got seriously hurt last year. And it's
and Windrock has a zero alcohol tolerance there. They check your cooler, they do everything. So I think it's just a safety thing in general that people need to learn how to,
respect their
get away. Respect other people's Jeeps too. Honestly, because somebody gets up on an obstacle and they want to hit it hard and try as hard as they can to get up it, and it goes wrong, and somebody else might get hurt just because they're standing too close to it. You know what I'm saying? So it goes both ways, driver and onlooker as well. So it's like King of the Hammers this year. If y'all saw those freaking videos, Thursday night, just freaking ridiculous. Like, even in the South, we don't do that shit. So, like,
I don't know.
Like,
the South, Tennessee's are crazy.
No, but seriously, like the stuff at the King of the Hammers this year was just intense. Like, so dumb. Like 10 yards away from Scott Grubb about flipping his Jeep over. Like, I'm way further away than that. Just having some common sense.
At least when we're that close, we have, at least for me anyways, I have an exit strategy.
Yeah, I think
when I approach an obstacle and I know a vehicle is going to be within 5 feet of me, I'm looking all around me. Where am I going to jump? Where am I going to dodge this vehicle? Yep. Because if it goes sideways, I need to know instinctively which way I'm going to go. I don't want to think about it after it happens.
Mm-hmm.
What's your guys' take on the whole trend of not having a spare tire? I think having a spare tire is just something you do. You take care of yourself. You don't put that on your buddies. If you get a flat tire, like, you put a burden on your friends. Like, you need to have a spare tire. I think that is courtesy.
The guys we ride with, everybody's trailering their stuff there anyways. We just leave our spares on the trailer, and if we need to go get a spare, we just go grab one.
Well, you guys aren't 20 miles away from home. If you're
true, it's totally different. Out west, out where they are, I would totally have a spare with me because it's out there. It's B&B.
Yeah, I don't wheel with the spare just because a fifth 40-inch tire and wheel is a little expensive, and the weight of an additional is it's kind of a big deal too. So.
I think
it's just a risky take.
Bring some plugs and plug her up.
Yeah.
But when does the risk you take affect everybody you're with? Because if you're done on the trail and you cost an hour and a half just because you don't have a spare, and somebody else has a $700 rim and tire that they have to loan you, when do you go be like, man, well, I went out knowing I was going to put this burden on the crew?
The same could be said for a U-joint or an axle shaft or anything else. I mean, how many people take spare U-joints or spare shafts?
That's why you know who you will with, I guess. Us, like, we like I mean, yeah, you know who you're wheel with. If we break a U-joint, the shit's gonna be gnarly anyways.
Yeah,
It's gonna be like fireworks.
that was kind of my point, like knowing who you wheel with. What I was getting with earlier. I mean, that's if everybody's and not to play devil's advocate here, but and I agree with you to a point, Diesel. But like, if everybody's running 8 on 6.5 bolt pattern on 40-inch tires, like worst case scenario. I mean, because what if you have a spare, Diesel? You gash a tire at the trailhead, go over whatever gatekeeper or whatever, and then you destroy a tire 4 miles in, and so now you're borrowing somebody else's tire and wheel anyway to get off the trail. At that point in time, so it's like knowing who you're going wheeling with and wheeling with people that are like-minded and similar builds and all that stuff. I mean, that goes a long way, and same to be said with U-joints. If we're all running 1-ton Jeeps and, the smallest U-joint you'll find on any of our Jeeps is a 1350, if you forgot your 1350, chances are your buddy will have one that we can, get you squared away. And the bro code kind of comes in at that point in time. If Diesel, I borrow your 1350 U-joint, when we get back to town that night, we'll swing by Napa and I'll buy another one for you to replace yours.
So I mean, for us, in the level of the off-roading and the community that we're all the group in, I guess that would go more for I just bought a JK, I got a small lift, I go with people with 33s, with 35s, with 37s and stuff like that. I mean, maybe they need to just make sure they can take care of themselves as best they can.
Yeah, because I mean, and I'm not trying to make myself sound like a cheap ass here, but I don't have a spare right now, purely based off financials.
You're cheap ass.
Like, yeah, it's purely based off financials. Because you're right, Diesel. It is another $700 or another $1,000 to have a spare tire and wheel built for any one of our rigs.
Yeah,
it's a ton of money, and companies don't generally like to give a whole bunch of shit away for free, so people are having to buy that. But yeah, no, when I was running 37s, I carried a spare. When I was running 285s, when I've just put a leveling kit on my Jeep I think I did that like 2 days after I bought it. I did a leveling kit and put 285s on it or 33s or whatever. And like I ran a spare, and it was actually funny. I did that leveling kit and I inverted, I was playing around at my house and I inverted my sway bar, thank you, and popped my tire, like brand new tire, right through the sidewall in my literally in my driveway.
Yeah.
So I had those 285s on my Jeep for like 3 days. The other truck I had 285s on. I'm like, man, I could fit 35.
And Matt Loxley, you brought up a freaking great point. Like I kind of have the mentality level because I do drive my Jeep everywhere. I definitely have a Jeep that probably should be trailered with what it's built and everything, the money that's involved in it. But I kind of stubbornly think that's a cool thing that I get to say, that sometimes I even pull a trailer with my Jeep. And so, who'd you wink at?
My wife.
Hey, love. So I guess my whole idea about the whole spare tire thing would be a little, triggered towards my situation.
Absolutely. If you're only driving your Jeep and you plan on doing some serious stuff, you need to have a spare tire around you, or a shitload of plugs to put in the sidewall. I mean, really.
Well, and I'm sure you guys either heard about it firsthand or saw via the internet, but Ryan gashed his sidewall in Moab last summer, and I don't even know what the count was, like 20 plugs in that thing, and like every day more air, and people just kept ramming plugs in there. I don't even know what the number was, but that tire was destroyed. And he does rig.
The best video was on the escalator. You could hear the tire. I wasn't there. I just watched you guys' video.
Well, we appreciate that.
Really quick, I think we need to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Smoking Days Barbecue in Denver. Quite a few locations. So if you're ever in Denver and you're craving barbecue, make sure you stop at Smoking Days Barbecue, get a beer, have some ribs, some pulled pork. I guarantee it's going to be great. Also, Outlaw Off-Road, Alabama locations and North Carolina. Check them out. Diesel, really quick, you want to hype up Rock Crawler?
Man, I cannot say enough about Rock Crawler. If you want to wheel with the confidence, if you want to be a superhero off the road, you go and buy yourself some Rock Crawler. Conquer everything! Rock Crawler!
If you guys are listening to this, at least go check out the YouTube video of that part.
Exactly.
And then also we have High Beam Off-Road Matt. Take it from here.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking for LED lights for your Jeep, or that's headlights, tail lights, fog lights, rock lights, and we're about to drop some light bars too here soon. That's covered with a lifetime warranty at an affordable price. And I try to give the best customer service I can because it is me. This is me. So we appreciate all the guys at Crawl 5280. You guys have been always good to us, and I enjoy sponsoring you guys because you guys do good stuff.
Thank you, sir. And then last but not least, HP Tuners. Everyone right now is doing their engine swaps for this year. So if you need a tuner, which you will need one, hit up HP Tuners. Our buddy Andrew Bailey, everyone knows Andrew. Hit up Andrew and make sure you get yourself a tuner from them.
Also, even if you're just
and even if you're not doing a go ahead, Adam.
Exactly.
You're about to say it. You're like even if you have a JK, you're gonna need like tire.
Right.
You're gonna need your tire size, gear ratio. They've got all that covered. Most shops are HP Tuners dealer. Just check out your local dealers for that. Because they can help you out for a lot cheaper than most tuners that are on the market.
That's awesome that HP Tuner jumped on board. Freaking Andrew.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and the outreach from our followers and the outpouring from our sponsors. I mean, it's super humbling, and so we really appreciate everybody that is doing anything with us, whether it's CrawlCast or Crawl 5280 or Kingdom Crawl or whatever. We really appreciate everything that you guys do for us and help us with. So thank you very much.
10-4.
But
so back to it. One thing that I want to bring up, and that's kind of like a pet peeve of mine when I see it on trail, is when people overdress for the trail, and specifically women, when they're wearing 50 pounds of makeup, or guys that are wearing like these white tennis shoes and they're getting mad because they're getting muddy tennis shoes.
Damn, Daniel.
Prepare for what you're in for. It's not a fashion show, okay?
It's actually funny. Like I love motorcycles.
I love them chicks that wear makeup, man. I think I'm like, yeah. So you're saying I have a chance?
I like them on. I like my women natural, just natural looking. Not. I mean, especially okay. And then the other thing that gets me is when they're wearing all this makeup, and all of a sudden these flies and bugs start hovering around their head, and they're wondering why. It's because they're attracted to that scent. It's their fault for wearing all that.
Hey, did you just call me a bug?
Yes.
But no, it's actually funny. Like it's a good point because like I love motorcycles. Like I've always had a really soft spot in my heart for motorcycles, and I was really deep into the motorcycle scene there for a long time, and what really drove me out of the Harley side of the motorcycle scene specifically is like I'd be out riding with guys, and I'm riding with a full face helmet, getting made fun of for riding with a full face helmet, wearing a leather jacket, nothing fancy, just to protect me if I fall, boots and jeans, because that's basics on a motorcycle. And then like you see these guys that buy like the pre-cut off sleeve shirts that are like all tasseled and frizzy and like it looks like it's been that way for years. It's some old shirt they just pulled out of the you know, closet or whatever.
Jorts, like my jorts in South Dakota.
Yeah.
Did you say
I
jorts?
bought some that were pre-cut off, and Adam fucking wore me out, dude.
Did you say jorts?
Yeah.
Oh no!
I bought some custom ones that were already pre-cut and flared at the end. Adam wore me out. I freaking threw them suckers away. Like $60.
But like I stopped, like I got like the Harley scene just wore me out because I'm like, these people are like literally playing dress up to go ride their motorcycles. And I do see it in the off-road world. Like, you know, you see the guy that wears, you know, well, I won't name names, but there's one particular person in the industry that I happen to know. And I think all of us probably know this particular person that made their own shirt that looks like an event shirt, you know, with the company's products that they use on their rig. I almost slipped there.
Awesome, man. Like, fucking let people.
I don't know, man.
It
looks like dress up to me. It really does. You know,
I love it.
It has their Instagram name at the top and like all this stuff. And
I love it, man. I love personality. I love people's show. Like, I love all of it, man. I love angry grills. I love all that shit. I don't want it. I can choose what I want, but yeah.
Here's what I think about
that shit.
Here's what I think about the angry grills. Okay, everyone knows it's just something to make your Jeep look different, right? It does not improve your Jeep whatsoever. So we can all agree it's a mall crawler thing. Technically, I mean, and if you want to categorize it, I'm not saying it's for every mall crawler because, I mean, obviously someone could put an angry grill on a rig that's very capable. So I'll just say that. But do not get offended if we call it a mall crawler, quote unquote, mod, because A, it's not a mod, and B, it is technically a mall crawler type thing.
How about we call it costume jewelry?
That's what it basically is.
No.
Yeah.
It's like halos and rock lights. It's the same thing.
Again, you're getting dressed up. You're getting dressed up to go wheeling. It's like the guys that have the 20-inch wheels and 35s.
Hey, how about Rob with his rock lights on Krusty? He posted a picture of it all lit up. I'm like, dude, shit looks like a JK. That was hilarious. I love that dude, man.
That was good. Looks so good.
That video he did post of his one and only burnout after his LS swap was pretty cool.
So I was there. Let's just talk about that while we're here. All y'all were there when Rob's Jeep just performed so horribly in Colorado.
Yes.
I mean, it was so awful. It's sad, really. So about 15 minutes into trail riding, it's like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. What happened first? His starter went out. Basically, some electrical went bad. But I looked back at some video I took right before that, and I could hear his motor knocking. Brand new motor swap, LS swap. So the next day, it's just knocking, and ends up he's got two bearings that went out, and he's just got the worst luck. He's got like my luck. Like from my luck from 2 years ago, he's basically turned into me now. It's so sad.
That's why he wants. That's why he wants me to move to Tennessee so bad, so the bad luck can be passed on.
Right, somebody needs it. God.
Yeah. He's got a beautiful. Congratulations, Rob, with your little daughter. Right, he has a new baby daughter. Beautiful.
Yeah, congratulations. But yeah, I like picking on Rob. That'll never stop, and he'll call me a faggot every time I say something. But I'm all right. I'm all right with it. It's a good relationship we've built.
Absolutely.
I still think the funniest thing is when we're on Wheeler Lake and I'm interviewing Rob to get like trying to get sentimental Rob out, you know, and
That's me.
If anyone has not seen it, I'll let Adam describe it.
So, sorry, I'm tying my shoe at the same time I'm doing this. I don't know why.
Why don't you have flip flops on if you want them so bad?
Because
You're in your house.
It's supposed to snow tomorrow, so I'm cold. Anyway, so we're sitting there, kind of at this like rocky overlook, kind of like looking back down the valley, and Brent, Matt, Diesel, Michael, and myself are all kind of standing around bullshitting, and Rob had already walked off. I don't know if he was just trying to reflect or take some time to himself, looking at the view or whatever, probably some sort of spiritual thing, or maybe he just wanted to sit down away from all of us assholes. I have no idea. But I'm not really paying attention to Rob, and we're all bullshitting about whatever. And then I look over there and I see Gabe's interviewing him, and the camera's pointed back at the group of us. And I'm like, fucking golden moment. I'm either going to not allow this interview to make it into the episode, or it's gonna be awesome. And so I started air jerking off Matt, knowing that Gabe's camera was absolutely going to see it. And none of us had any idea about what Rob was talking about. Rob had no idea what was going on behind him, and he's like being like really sentimental.
It was super deep.
Yeah, about wanting to take his son up there and like how he loves it and getting married. It was like such a great interview ruined in the background, and I'm so glad. So glad
it was epic.
That made the cut. It was a good time. So if you guys haven't seen it, I think that's probably episode 7 or 8 or something. You'd have to look, but it's worth it.
So I'll tell you some behind the scenes stuff on that one. I'm editing that episode, and I remember in my head because I didn't see it when it was happening. So I'll just say that when it was going on, I didn't see it in the background because I'm looking in the small viewfinder. So I'm sitting at home editing this thing, and I'm like, okay, I remember there's this part with Rob, and he's a very touching moment talking about his son. I'm going to put that in there. And I go searching for it, and I find it, and I start editing. I'm like, wait a minute. What is going on in the background? And I just lost.
Just got longer.
Yeah, I just lost, and I was like, okay, this is why we can't have nice things.
That's exactly right. Oh, it's good.
Oh my God.
And I mean, maybe this is something that's never even been spoken about till right now. I mean, all the shenanigans that never make the cut. I mean, we could probably do an entire different series based off of that.
That week was unreal, dude.
That was such a fun week, man. And I'm really excited for this coming September. I hope everybody makes it.
I got to ask one question. Adam, I know you've got to be curious too. Did you guys turn our heater on?
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, who did that?
I don't know. I didn't.
Are you serious? How did our heater, like, it was horrible. Like, I know it was funny, but I don't think you guys understand. I thought I was going to die. Like, it was that bad.
This is tequila night, too, wasn't it?
No, it was not the hotel. It was in the little KOA. The guy that dumped the shitter in the leach field. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. I wish we would have gotten that.
Did not turn our heater on? None of you guys did.
Hold on. Let's talk about the shit in the leach field really quick, because for a minute I had no idea what the fuck a leach field was. I still don't know what the fuck.
I thought a leach field was a place that dispersed shit. I thought I was like, oh yeah, legit, like dumping the leach field. Okay,
so we got to give everyone a backup story because everyone right now is from like, what the hell are they talking about? Okay, so we're at the KOA in Buena Vista, and we just happen to be in the cabins right across from the sewage, the dump, the RV sewage. What do you call it, Matt?
The dump out. Dump out.
Yeah. So this guy, we've noticed him driving around a few times, kind of like dirt, and
exactly.
And all of a sudden, one of the KOA employees starts running out like as fast as possible. Hey, you fucking idiot! You fucking moron! That's our fucking leach field. You're dumping your shit in that leach field.
Look at the big sign in front of you.
So I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on? And then Matt explains to me that that's pretty much like a fresh water.
That's their water reservoir, basically. That's where their wells pump from.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy was dumping his shit into their water
Fresh
source.
water. Yeah.
Unreal.
It was so bad.
And he was like, he didn't say anything. Like, he didn't really promote a fight or anything. He was just like sitting back going, oh,
he was an idiot.
Oh,
like, he was like,
I'll pay whatever. You got to pay like $500 or something. Or he's going to go to jail. So I'm calling the cops. He's like, oh, fuck. I kind of started feeling bad for the guy. I mean, he was getting the riot act.
I mean, that whole week, that whole week was a riot. I mean, because like obviously, Matt, you and I had talked via internet prior to that, but I'd never met you in person. I'd never met Brent, never met Rob. So it was like, for me at least, at the beginning of the week, besides knowing Diesel and Gabe, like I kind of felt like the eighth wheel or whatever the fuck. I don't remember how many people were there, but like I kind of felt like an outsider. And then like grew this brotherhood very, very quickly, just with trail time, and then being able to tip a few back at the end of the night or whatever. And dude, by like midway through that week, there was so much wacky shit that went on. I mean, the fucking shower at the KOA was a fucking wacky experience. I mean, like, but I mean, that's what's so good about getting out and wheeling is like you end up making friends with people that you'd never met, besides seeing their name go across whatever Jeep forum or Facebook page or whatever. And it was crazy to see where we got. And like leading up to that, kind of a behind the scenes, I guess, to steal Gabe's words there, we set up a Facebook Messenger with all of us, and this was September last year, so it's been however many months that is, and that group chat is still very active
absolutely.
And that's just where like the group chat could be completely closed down by now and never used again, but we just keep using it to talk shit to each other. Nothing of importance goes across that chat, but yeah, I mean, but
unless it's Diesel sharing some videos of dicks.
Oh, come on! I've never shared a video of a dick.
I had a pretty good one the other day.
Have I?
Shared with that group, the Asian chick guy.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Well, I'm not just. You have to look back, D. So I'm not going to show you over the camera right now.
Hey, so I thought it would be fun because I'm kind of attracted to Asians, and so I joined an Asian dating website. It was like an Asian dating website. I wasn't going to pay any money, but I did put my email address and everything. Holy shit, I get 50 emails a day from Asian girls from all over Asia. Just, they can't make I feel very educated reading their English statements. I feel like I'm in the Excel class after doing this. And I tell you, so I'm just like, I got to delete this shit. Like 50 emails a day. I deleted it, and it's still 50 emails a day. Hey, whatever, leaving you a message. I'm like, holy shit, all the messages are the same.
They're actually from like China or overseas, basically.
Yeah, why did they ask for my zip code if they're gonna freaking do like somebody in Asian gives a shit about a zip code?
They want to know where they want to live. They're looking at you as a ticket.
Yeah.
You probably joined some like male dating
let me see if
mail order bride service. You didn't even know it.
I have no. Oh, really? That's not too bad, right?
It depends. How much was it?
No, I didn't pay. I wouldn't pay.
Tomorrow. You're gonna unexpectedly have 10 Asian women show up at your door.
That wouldn't be so horrible, would it?
Just add them to Brad's Wayward's house.
Yeah.
Wayward house of Brad. What'd you call it?
That wouldn't be horrible. So Tiffany, the dead raccoon girl. So the reason why there's dead raccoons there all the time is because the neighbor gets paid to remove animals from around the town. So he doesn't want to kill them. He loves animals. He can't kill them. So he releases all these animals in the field. So I can hear turkeys. Like when I'm sleeping, I lock the door because I'm afraid. I don't know. Like I think it's people, but it's like deers and raccoons, like all kinds of animals. Like there's no skunks anymore. Like a couple years ago, there was a bunch of skunks, and so I always kind of had my flashlight. I was always afraid of the skunks. But so Tiffany, now that the weather's kind of nice, she has set up Tiffany's Land, and there's 2 tents, campfires, and there's lights hanging on the other side of the bridge. So now we have like a little outdoor commune of Tiffany world.
Oh my goodness! I need to get back there.
Yeah, it's
I
awesome.
need to do a follow up.
Yeah.
So if anyone hasn't seen it yet, by this time this CrawlCast airs, check out the Kingdom Crawl version of Cribs at Diesel's house. If you haven't seen it yet, it's
something.
It's something.
That was fun.
That's where he's talking about the dead raccoons, because there's dead raccoons everywhere.
Dead Raccoon Creek.
Yeah.
Can't move there. Can't leave there. But it's great, man. It's great to see you. Everybody needs to come stay there. There's room for everybody to sleep.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, downstairs, all those couches turn into beds.
I don't know. I don't want to know who and what bio substance has been on those beds.
I'm telling you, I can name a lot of personal.
I don't think that's something to brag about. Or maybe it is. I don't know.
I'm not bragging. I'm sitting here in a freaking shop working on a Jeep by myself 7 days a week because I freaking chose that stupid shit. I'm not bragging. But yeah, no, Tiffany Land, she's good. She's doing great. So it's a lot of fun. Like when I go there, they'll be out there with campfires, camping out. They're making coffee this morning out there on a little campfire stove.
Cool. Interesting.
Very.
Do you have to wear clothes when you go there, or is it optional?
It's optional.
I feel like it's optional.
You know, I'll tell you something. Walking through that basement, there's an eerie feeling that at night it's very haunted.
Yeah, it might be haunted. Brad, I freaking love him to death, but last year at Moab, he actually came out and he was the guy in my Jeep, the older guy. You guys met him on Poison Spider. You know, he's a lot of fun. So he had one of his friends, Carla, and she was just a beautiful spirit, beautiful person, had some major drug issues. And so unfortunately, this is kind of a bad story. It is really bad. She was awesome, but she couldn't stay off of drugs. So she goes to jail. She realizes she can't stay off the drugs. She don't want to be locked up. She came to a conclusion that I don't want to be here. So she hangs herself in jail, right? Horrible story. Well, she gets her ashes, and Brad is slowly spreading her ashes around the United States in beautiful places. So he's in Moab, and he's going to spread her ashes, and it was a little late, and he wanted to leave a little bit because he loved Moab so much. So before he leaves, he actually spread some of the ashes in our campsite, like right at my tent. So like the rest of the week, every time I get out of my tent, I crawl out and I'm staring at a pile of fucking Carla's ashes right there in my tent all day. Like I walked around, it was like an obstacle course trying to get, and you could definitely see between the ashes and the dirt. And I was like, hey, Carla, like every morning I said, hello, Carla, every morning. So yeah, she stayed with me in Moab all week.
Crazy.
Oh yeah. You can't make that shit up. That was nuts. Oh my God. Anyways,
Well, on that note, I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah. So I agree. Yeah, I mean, just kind of to close things out here. I mean, when you're going out on the trail, whether it's your first time or your 1,000th time, just think ahead, be prepared. Think about the basic shit of, do I have the right footwear on, or think about, hey, I'm in Colorado, and though it's 80 degrees here in town, it could be snowing at the top of the trail by the end of the day, which everybody here got to witness while we were on Wheeler Lake. And if you're up there in a t-shirt and cut off sleeve shirt, you're going to be real upset while you're getting snowed on. So I mean, just try to think about it, but always have fun and be responsible. And, get out there as much as you can. And
at the end of the day, it's your life and your Jeep. Make decisions to benefit and take care of you and your Jeep.
Yep.
And have lots of fun.
Yeah, lots of
fun. But anyway, guys, well, we really appreciate you coming on. I know this is a weird forum, but hopefully by the time we are shooting the next episode, hopefully we'll be back to our normal lives here, and everything will be hunky-dory. But if not, I hope everybody enjoys this forum, because we'll do it as long as we need to keep your little ears tickled with whatever we got to talk about. So thank you, guys.
Take care of yourselves.
Thank you guys all very much. Stay inside.
Bye, guys.
Do what you got to do. We'll talk to you guys soon.